Being in a rebound relationship is one of the most painful experiences you can ever go through. To wake up one day and find out that your partner had never moved on from their previous relationship, that they were never over their ex, that they settled for you. Just the realization that you were nothing more than a second option, you were a backup plan. This is soul crushing. Some of you may find out in the early stages of dating and walk away. Others can sense something is wrong, but you simply turn a blind eye because of your lust or high interest for them, and you hope that the red flags that you see are not true, so you keep going. And this is where the pain starts. You move in together, you get engaged, perhaps you even get married and have children, but something will always feel off. You'll begin to realize that you're in a one-sided relationship, that they don't really share the same feelings that you have for them. This is suffering. And this is the risk you take when you invest your time and energy in a woman who has not moved on from her past. So I want you to pay attention to this video because I'm going to teach you exactly how you can prevent yourself from ever being in a rebound relationship. This can be avoided if you do not get into a relationship in the first place. So the key is paying attention to the red flags in the early stages. It's easier to walk away at the beginning than at the end. Okay, this red flag is always obvious and right in your face. But over the years, I've received countless emails of men and women who have been the rebound. So I do know there is a lot of people that have a knowledge gap. And if you are watching this video and you are single, or this has recently happened to you and you're looking to heal, or make sure this never happens to you in your future relationship, pay attention. In this video, I'm going to teach you what a rebound relationship is, what are the exact signs you can look for to pinpoint a woman that is stuck in the past so that a rebound relationship does not happen to you. And then I'm going to give you more information on why you should avoid women who have not healed from a previous relationship. And for those of you who don't know me, welcome to Relearning Relationships. My name is Christian, and I teach men to master relationships righteously. And if you are a man looking to find a good woman you can marry and master relationships, there's a link in the description to my course. Book a call and apply. So with that said, let's begin. What is a rebound relationship? A rebound relationship is defined by someone who enters a new relationship even though there are still lingering emotions from a recent or past love. Whether someone has not healed from their previous relationship or has recently become single, they are not mentally prepared or emotionally available to begin courting or dating someone new. And this becomes a red flag when you are currently dating or you've just met a woman who displays glaring signs of contending with feelings from a past lover or recent breakup, recent divorce. But at the same time, she's very serious about wanting to date you. And this is why the men that get into relationships with women like this typically are insecure, lustful, clueless, and desperate, or they have a knowledge gap in relationships. And the women that are coming out of a relationship that they haven't healed from, if this woman is immoral, she will specifically target the weak men that are going to believe her sob story. Oh, I recently came out of a relationship, at a divorce. Oh, it was so toxic, it was so difficult. And the guy feels bad for her and he wants to swoop in and save her and be the hero. Okay? These are typically the men that don't distinguish between good women and bad women, and they end up stuck with women like this. And you also need to be aware of the fact that there are some women who, they will go the extra mile and they will hide the fact that they're not over their ex, because they know that there are men out there with integrity and morals and standards that will walk away the second they hear, oh, I'm just come out of a long-term relationship. Because men that understand relationships know there is no man or woman on this planet who's come out of a long-term relationship and the first thing on their mind is getting into a new one, especially if it ended badly, especially if there were many years invested with another person. It takes time to heal. And a good man wants a woman that is ready, willing, and able to date, emotionally vulnerable. There's nothing holding her back from her past. So if a woman has a sense that you're a catch, you're a really good man, and it happens rarely because people typically lower their standards when they rebound. But if she's lucky enough to come across a guy that she really, really likes, that's when she's going to hold back and lie to him. Yeah, she won't mention it. You won't even know until you'll find out later on down the road when things don't start adding up. Maybe she confesses to you in the future once your feelings are involved, or you find out from some other source. So I want you to understand this happens. And there are other cases where some women will never even mention it because they're immature and they're yet to learn how to express themselves and heal appropriately. But regardless of whether a woman tells you the truth or not in these situations, there are certain patterns in her behavior that will give away the confirmation that you're dealing with a woman who is yet to heal from her past and is looking to use you as a crutch to rebound. And remember, with rebound relationships, they end in one of two ways. She either goes back to the ex, or she stays with you until she heals, and then she goes off to someone new that she actually does like. There is the exception where the woman may stay with you because there's just nothing better for her if she settles and you both have a miserable relationship. Okay? So, what are the signs of a woman that is stuck in the past? Number one, you're going to see certain indications of a recent breakup or divorce. Active contact with the ex. And I'm not talking about the ex reaching out to her, which does happen, but her reaching out to him, her making conversations with him. You see the text messages. You start to see weird things on social media. Or maybe if you have a very close-knit community in your town or area, people start talking and you hear information. You notice that the line of communication is always open with her ex. She talks about the ex frequently in a very positive way. Sometimes she may even admit to you, if she can see that you're a weak and a pushover, that she hasn't even healed yet and that she still loves him or still misses him. And if you're the lustful guy who's desperate to have a woman, you'll sit there waiting for a woman like this in hopes that she will heal. Because you think for some reason that you can't go out there and get a good woman who's single just like you, who has healed just like you. But it happens often. I've had so many case studies over the years of guys like this. They're in the friend zone. They wait for the woman to dump the guy that she was with and they're hoping she'll give him a chance, and you're just the backup guy. Be careful with women like this. And remember, it's only harder to find a good woman if you're not a good man. And there's a lot of men out there that don't have pure motives. A lot of you guys don't want marriage. You don't want a family. You just want to get your dick wet. You just want to smash the first woman who comes your way. And that's why you're dealing with this sort of woman. So you have to take accountability on your end as well. You have to catch this in the early stages of dating. You have to be looking for red flags because good women have no red flags. The second sign of a woman stuck in the past is that there's a fear of commitment. You'll notice as you start to get to know her, even though she claimed she was so serious about dating you, she avoids talking about serious topics, about marriage, about children. When you bring up what she wants in the future, she's very much up in the air. She says she doesn't know, which is always a lie. Or she tells you that she's just going with the flow, or that she wants to take things easy, right? She refrains from sharing her emotions. You might have been dating this girl for 2, 3, 4, 5 months. There's no I love you. There's no intimacy. There's no connection. There's no passion. She's not really complimenting you. But by this point, if this woman was emotionally available, she would have bonded to you. She would have poured her heart out to you. You'd see her in love with you. And when you're doing everything right with a woman and you notice that there's like a fear of commitment here, she's not really open to me. This is usually when she's rebounding. You're the rebound and she's still stuck in the past. Because she's still bonded to another man, she can't really open up and give herself to you. That's why she holds back. So there's really no indication of emotional bonding, even though you've spent enough time for bonding to happen. Okay? The third sign is, this is typically when you see a woman has settled for you. Usually, in 90% of the cases with rebound is men and women who rebound are insecure themselves. They have issues themselves. So they'll take the first person who comes their way without even considering attraction or shared values. Because they're just still thinking about the ex. You're just a warm body to keep them company, right? So you're going to notice, if she settles for you, hot and cold behavior. She might behave in a way that displays that she's really interested in you one day, and then the next day she ghosts you, she disappears. You don't hear from her. She vanishes from the planet. And if there's an ex in the background, it's because she's contacting him. She's running back and forth with him. She might be dealing with feelings of guilt and shame of what she's doing to you. Because at some point, the woman who's rebounding or the man who's rebounding knows what they're doing to you is wrong, deep down, because they know they're not really into you. So that's another reason why they go hot and cold. Okay? You might start to find more indications that she's not really attracted to you. Again, physical intimacy, that starts to drop. It becomes very transactional, very superficial. Or you don't really share the same values. When you talk about what you want, about marriage, about children, where you want to live, you start to realize that you both disagree on different things. If she eventually does open up about what she wants, it's usually different or opposites. And then finally, the fourth sign that a woman is stuck in the past is that she keeps you hidden. When you're the backup guy, when you're just the guy she's, break glass in case of emergency, you're in the background. You don't matter. She'll keep you hidden from her friends and family. For example, if you offer to meet her friends or, you've been dating her for 6 months, hey, can I meet your family? It's been a long time. She might decline, give you different excuses or reasons that, oh, it's too early, it's too soon, or, oh, my family's weird, or you don't need to meet my friends. Weird things like that. Because when a woman is open and she actually loves you, she's proud to show you off. She wants to tell her girlfriends about you. She wants to tell her family about you. She sees you as the man of her dreams. So in these early stages of dating, if you're dealing with a girl that's rebounding and still the ex is in the background, another reason why she's not showing you to her friends and family is because you're disposable. And if everybody in her life knows that she just broke up with Jimmy and she's been with Jimmy for 10 years, everybody knows about Jimmy. And now you come in the picture, she knows that makes her look bad. Now she looks like a piece of crap, because whether she broke up with Jimmy or vice versa, she was with him for 10 years. How is she even healed to find a new guy like you? And she's afraid that if you come into her life and everybody knows about you, one of her friends or family members might come and speak to you. Hey, did you know she's come out of a 10-year relationship? Are you sure she's healed? And this is how some guys find out that they're the rebound, from other sources. So you want to be very careful. If a woman keeps you in the shadows, doesn't really want people knowing, you're the side guy, right? It's like girls who find out that these immoral men that are using them, they end up realizing that they're the side chick, right? This guy's just using her. And if she doesn't have an intention of committing to you for life, this is what happens. You don't really get to meet the people that are close with her. She might disconnect and disappear. She doesn't really keep you updated about what she's doing. And you typically only end up spending time with her on her terms. Because if she's leading a double life and she has to lie to her friends and family that she's dealing with a guy like you, she typically keeps you separate from that life. So she has to make more time to see you at different or weird times. Anytime you offer to see her, she declines. She can't make plans. Only when she offers, because she's kind of freed up her schedule, because she's deceiving everyone in her life. Then she makes plans with you. So you'll start to notice weird things like this. This is what happens when you're in a rebound relationship. And I know this from experience. When I was a young guy, 17, 18, I went on a few dates with this girl. And she had an ex in the background. And she told me, hey, I'm dating, look, me and my ex just broke up. We were together for 3 years. And in my mind, I thought I was confident enough. I was like, I'll be different. I'm not like the ex. I'm cool. I know this stuff. We went on 2-3 dates. She seemed to like me. I was doing everything right. But then, guess what? She just disappeared. Didn't text me back for a week. Hey, I'm really sorry. She was honest enough to tell me, hey, look, I went back to my ex. Turns out, him and I kind of got back together. And I could always tell something was off, and there was different things like this that were happening. And I learned the lesson then at a very young age. But I have seen this happen with clients and case studies I've received over the years. So I want you to understand, you've got to catch this stuff early on, okay? So if it's not already common sense to you enough, let me close the video on this. Why you should avoid women who have not healed from a previous relationship. Guys, it's common sense that we should take our time to heal, regain our confidence, and rebuild our lives. This is how mature men and women handle a breakup or divorce. It's foolish to look for a new partner if your heart and mind are not over your ex, because it's impossible for you to give yourself entirely, let alone commit. In fact, you're more likely to lower your standards and settle for the first woman to show you interest, because you will do anything to take your mind off your ex. And this is what I'm talking about in this video. If a woman is rebounding, this is what she's doing. And in these cases, you're far more likely to overlook red flags because you're not present with her. You're just desperate to have her in your life. Because a woman who hasn't healed from her past is never ready for a relationship with you. Okay? Women like this, they're not good candidates for courtship and marriage. These are typically women that have low self-esteem or lack maturity, and they'll meet a guy after a breakup or bad split to take their minds away from the pain of their past relationship. In other words, their emotions are all over the place and they're unpredictable. This means that one moment she's into you, next moment she withdraws emotionally, and you're left scratching your head, wondering what happened, where did she go? And again, most rebound relationships will fizzle out on the early on. Okay? But there is an exception where a woman who is emotionally vulnerable, she may go along with the relationship with you because it's just better than being alone. And then she has 2-3 kids with you and she settles. It happens. But again, you'll start to see that becomes a one-sided relationship eventually. Again, the next thing here is that there is no genuine desire on her end. Remember, you can't negotiate attraction. You can't create attraction out of thin air. Either she likes you or she doesn't. Either you like her or you don't. Okay, I have videos on attraction in my channel. You can go look for them. But if you're attempting to date, or if things get more serious with a woman who you know is not over the ex, this is setting you up for heartache. Because if she hasn't healed from her past, she's almost always lowering her standards and is only dating you because she's bored, for companionship, or to give her a sense of security to boost her ego. Oh, I've still got it. I'm still pretty. I can still get another man. But you're not really the man she wants. So as time goes by, you're the one who's bonding with her. But guess what? She's not bonding with you because she settled for you. It limits her ability to develop emotions, to develop feelings of love and trust and connection towards you, because she's not really feeling it to begin with. So what happens eventually is if she chooses to go along for maybe a few more weeks, a few more months, and she does heal, this is when the guilt comes in and she realizes, oh my goodness, I've been leading this guy on. I was never into him, or maybe we don't have the same values, or he's kind of average. So what happens is women like this will typically exit the relationship, leaving you all alone, wondering what happened. Just like the situation I told you about that girl that happened to me before when I was younger. We had physical attraction, but we didn't have the same values. We didn't want the same things out of life. So it wasn't enough to keep it going. And she had a stronger bond with her ex. So she'll always go back to him. This is what I want you to understand. You want to be very careful. And of course, the final reason why you don't want to be involved with a woman like this is because rebound relationships, if they become a relationship, of course, end up in heartbreak. Right? Typically, a woman, if she has any sense of dignity, she may open up and tell you that you just offered her an escape from her past love. And this leaves you shocked. And she'll walk away. But there are other times when she may simply disappear after being with you for months without ever giving you an explanation or closure, and you might never even find out what actually happened until you snoop a bit on social media, or you find out by other people close to her that, hey, she went back to her ex. Or, as I said earlier in the video, in these cases, people who rebound once they heal don't go back to the ex. They just find someone better, someone they actually did like in the first place. And this is where guys get very insecure and they start comparing themselves. What did that guy have that I didn't? It's not about that. You were just never the right guy for her to begin with. And you convince yourself in your lust and insecurity that this woman was right for you because you were trying to save her from her bad life choices, instead of choosing a woman that from the get-go had no baggage. Okay? And again, this is how a rebound relationship happens. And the only way to avoid this is to not get into one in the first place. When you date her, pay attention to the red flags. Pay attention to the early warning signs that I mentioned. Remember, this is the risk you take when you invest your time and energy in a woman who has not moved on from a previous relationship. There are women out there, they heal in a few months, sure. But there are other women and they take years to heal because of their insecurities or health problems or other things that are going on. There's billions of women to choose from, men. And all you need is one good woman who finds you handsome, who has the same values as you, and there's no baggage, there's no red flags. So isn't it better to give yourself a standard that you can aim for? Don't you deserve a woman that's single, ready, willing, and able to date you for you, instead of having to deal with a woman's past and trying to fix her and save her? Please pay attention to this red flag, because it's always obvious and right in your face. And I get so many people email me trying to tell me that their situation is special and I've never seen a case study like this before. And yes, I have. You're not special. You're not different. This is predictable as the sun coming up and setting later in the evening. If you know the signs, you know what to look for. So in conclusion, all of these signs should confirm to you that you should walk away when you spot this, and instead find a woman that is emotionally available and has no baggage from her past. It's much better to choose a woman that is ready and willing to date you instead of lowering yourself to dating or courting a woman that has recently come out of a long-term relationship. Trying to love her and be the perfect boyfriend isn't going to make her magically fall in love with you if she isn't genuinely attracted to you, still bonded to another man, or doesn't share the same values as you. If she hasn't healed, she's not even in a state to actually want a relationship in reality. She's simply idealizing it in her mind. These relationships are full of limerence, they're very hot and heavy, and they fizzle out early on. And the only times these relationships stay, sometimes for a few years, or lead to marriage and children, is when the guy is so clueless and that woman is so insecure that they're both just equally yoked in their misery, in their lack of understanding of love. Be very careful and do not let this happen to you. Prevention is better than cure. If you find value in the video and you're new, subscribe, leave a comment down below on your thoughts, and share this with anyone who may benefit from it. With that said, hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless all of you and your families.